Thanksgiving Day in Irving, Texas, where for the second time in 12 days, the Dallas Cowboys face the Washington Redskins with Cowboy playoff life on the line. With a win today, Washington can clinch at least a wild card spot for the playoffs, and if they do, Dallas's hopes for postseason continuation are gone. For followers of the Cowboys, a playoff round without the Dallas Cowboys is like a Thanksgiving without the turkey, for in the previous 8 seasons, Dallas has missed the playoffs exactly no times. And though their streak is in serious jeopardy this year, there is good reason. Most pro football fans are familiar with the Cowboys' proud past, with the Leroy Jordans, Mel Renfros, and Bob Lilleys. And while these names still adorn the Cowboy roster, and most are still starters, Dallas is actually a team that is rebuilding. No less than 12 rookies also appear on the Cowboy lineup card, and in the twilight of the season, where weekly wars test a team's depth, Dallas has some of the youngest backup talent in the league. Though some are blue chippers like number 72, Ed Too Tall Jones, the NFL's #1 draft pick, this season may be Dallas head coach Tom Landry's finest year of coaching, for Landry has managed to manipulate his mixture of aging veterans and fuzzy-faced youths into playoff contention. One man Landry and several other coaches could not handle is number 47, Dwayne Thomas. After a spectacular rookie season as a Cowboy, Thomas became disenchanted in Big D, and in today's game will be making his first start against his former team. But offense is not George Allen's thing, and though he has several all-pro types, defense is what it's all about for Lonesome George. Allen's philosophy is for his offense just not to make any mistakes, figuring on his big play defense to make the plays that win football games, and they usually do. When the two teams met 12 days ago, Washington jumped to a 28-0 halftime lead. But by game's end, Dallas had clawed to within 7 points and had 4 cracks from the Washington 7-yard line. They could not punch it in, and indeed that loss, more than any, is the one that put the Cowboys in such desperate straits. Today's game is do or die for Dallas. If they lose, they are out of it. And even if they win, it will take some long, odd circumstances to put them in the playoffs. But that's not about to draw less than a 120% effort from the desperate Dallas Cowboys as they face the Washington Redskins in the NFL Game of the Week. With their entire season at stake, the Dallas defense was the first Cowboy unit to prove that they were ready, holding the Redskins to -4 yards on their first possession, twice nailing their old buddy Dwayne Thomas. After Thomas lost 4 on a run, he heard and saw the footsteps coming and pulled up short on a swing pass, causing an incompletion. Billy Kilmer's pass had gone forward, and so no fumble was allowed. But the Redskins had been stopped cold by the Dallas defense, and the Cowboys' first offensive play gained 11 yards and a first down. But Dallas could go no farther, thanks to a fine play by Dyron Talbert, number 72, and then by what Talbert called the key to beating Dallas, forcing Roger Staubach to run, negating the Cowboys' air attack and possibly negating Staubach for the day. Staubach's third down scramble came up short of a first down, and Dallas was forced to punt, or were they? With everything on the line, the Cowboys pulled all the stops, and a surprise pass from punt formation gained 37 yards. On a repeat, we can see that Dallas punter Dwayne Carroll was aware of the Redskins' penchant for blocking punts, and so wasted little time before getting off his pass. Benny Barnes, a defensive back most of the time, was a receiver this time, and Dallas completed the first big play of the Cowboys' biggest game of the year. It was an uncharacteristic mistake for George Allen's usually well-prepared special teams, which had either scored or set up a score in each of the Redskins' 4 previous games. But if Washington's special team was out of character, the Redskin defense was never more in character. Dallas would snap the ball 12 times from inside the 20-yard line, but could not get a touchdown. With a third and pass situation, Staubach rolled right, but pressure from Bill Brundage caused him to throw too soon and off balance, and Pat Fisher intercepted. But on the play, the Redskins were called for interference, giving Dallas 4 more cracks. But just as the Cowboys had failed to score at game's end in their previous game with Washington, so they failed again. Given new life on the penalty, Dallas could not pierce the goal line stand defense of the Redskins. After a run went nowhere, Staubach tried 2 passes, but both failed, and so unable to get a touchdown. Despite a successful 4th down fake punt and 12 plays from inside the 20, Dallas settled for a field goal and an unsatisfying 3-0 lead. Buoyed by the inspired play of their defense, the Washington offense began to crackle on their second series of the game. Mixing pass and run beautifully, Kilmer moved the Redskins to the Dallas 28-yard line. But with a 3rd and 4, Roy Jefferson dropped one that would have renewed the Washington drive with a 1st down. Looking at the play from ground level, we can see why the usually sure-handed Jefferson had trouble. The partial dome of Texas Stadium creates strange light and shadow patterns, and Jefferson was trying to catch a ball coming out of shadow into blinding sunlight. Washington, like Dallas, would have to settle for a field goal and a 3-3 tie at the end of the first quarter. In the second period, the big play Redskin defense would set up more Washington scoring chances. The first time, a combination of great coverage and a foolish pass by Staubach created a turnover. Linebacker Dave Robinson's interception. Robinson carried to the Cowboys' 23, but the Dallas defense dug in and stopped 3 straight runs short of a 1st down. The big play being a 3rd and short from inside the 20. Washington again took a 3-pointer to lead 6-3 and then went about the task of stopping Roger Staubach. For the remainder of the half, Staubach would complete just 1 pass, and that didn't count when 2 offensive players touched the ball consecutively. Then, according to the Darren Talbert plan, the Redskin defense began making the plays that would win them the game if his plan were valid. By forcing Staubach to run, the Redskins hoped to knock rambling Roger out of the game. That didn't happen on this play, so Talbert, number 72, went after Staubach himself. On consecutive plays, Talbert sacked Staubach for losses totaling 15 yards, but he failed to deliver the knockout blow. Repeating this play, we can see how hungry Talbert was. On the play, he is blocked high and low and knocked on the flat of his back, yet still manages a sack when Staubach comes back to him. The Talbert plan was working insofar as Staubach suffered a woeful first half, but the Dodger was still in the game and a threat, so the Washington offense went out to improve on their lead. A fine play by Mark Washington stopped this pass, but Kilmer came right back on the next play with the same call and got 13 yards. Charlie Taylor ducked a big hit, and Kilmer again attacked the Cowboys' left side, where Moses Denson also evaded a Leroy Jordan forearm and picked up another 1st down. Finally, Kilmer went to the right side of the Dallas defense and nearly got 6. Charlie Taylor badly beat Benny Barnes, but caught the ball out of bounds. With time running out, the Redskins tried another field goal but missed, and so with just 17 seconds left in the half, Dallas was satisfied to run out the clock and just trail by 3 when it could have been much worse. And suddenly it got worse when Walt Garrison fumbled and Darren Talbert recovered on the Cowboy 32. Though Talbot had not accomplished his goal of knocking out Staubach, he had played a super half and was knocking out Dallas in another way with 2 sacks. Tough defense against the run, and this fumble recovery that set up Mark Mosley's 3rd field goal and a 9-3 Washington lead at the half. On the very first scrimmage play of the second half, Dallas's Walt Garrison tore through a big hole in the middle of the Redskin line, but fumbled the ball to Washington's Harold McClinton. So Washington had a great opportunity to increase their 6-point lead from the Dallas 39. On the first play, Kilmer play faked to Denson and let fly to Charlie Taylor at the 20. It appeared Washington would have a first down on the 1, but Charlie Taylor's reaction tells the tale. A man-in-motion penalty nullified the 38-yard gain and made it a 5-yard loss. Now, 1st and 15 from the 44, Billy Kilmer reared back and let it fly. Roy Jefferson had Charlie Waters beaten, but Jefferson couldn't stay in bounds. Coming up empty twice through the air, Billy the Kid turned to Moses Denson, and despite Dallas's offsides, Denson turned the right corner and just made the marker for a Redskin first down. Dealing from strength, Kilmer went on top again and hit a wide-open Jefferson for a 2nd straight first down. Now at the 9, Kilmer isolated Dwayne Thomas on Dave Edwards and looped a pass that Thomas turned into the first touchdown of the day. It was a fine effort by the much-maligned Thomas, and his teammates obviously appreciated it. Washington now had a seemingly safe 13-point lead over sputtering Dallas. On the Cowboys' next series came the turning point of the game. Roger Staubach was having one of his poorest passing days in the NFL, and he couldn't find an open receiver and ran. Staubach gained a first down, but was knocked woozy, and this proved to be the turning point of the day, for into the fray came an untried and unknown rookie quarterback named Clint Longley. Thus was realized the situation that was brought up before the game when Redskin defensive tackle Darren Talbot, number 72, said, "One of our goals is to knock Staubach out, because all they've got left is that rookie Longley." If words were ever to haunt a man, these did. So with Dallas behind by 13 and facing certain elimination from the playoffs, the burden rested squarely on the shoulders of the rookie from Abilene Christian. Longley's first pass was something less than a sensation when he overthrew Robert Newhouse in the left flat. But on his second try, he dropped back quickly, set up, and hit Walt Garrison for a first down. This innocent 10-yarder was only the beginning of better things for Clint Longley. 2 plays later, Longley pump faked once and then passed to a wide-open Billy Joe Dupree, and Dallas had his first touchdown of the day. Suddenly, things looked a bit brighter in Big D. Two minutes later, Longley was at it again, and his quick arm found Dupree once more, this time for 20 yards. The big tight end from Michigan State was having one of his best days in his 2-year pro career. The Dallas offense had come alive, sparked by a very unlikely catalyst. A down and out to Drew Pearson was good for 9 more yards. Then Longley, keeping the ball in the air, pitched a strike to Charlie Young, slanting over the middle for a 14-yard gain to the Redskin 15-yard line. George Allen's vaunted over-the-hill gang was being picked clean by a raw rookie. Longley now tried for Newhouse in the end zone, and though Pat Fisher saved the touchdown, linebacker Dave Robinson was called for interference, and the Cowboys had the ball on the Washington 1. With Calvin Hill out, Walt Garrison becomes the Cowboys' bread and butter man, and Garrison sliced through for the touchdown that tied the game. What had been turned by Tom Landry as a minor miracle needed to make the playoffs seemed more possible. Efren Herrera's extra point put Dallas in the lead by a single point as the final quarter began. The momentum seems squarely with Dallas now, and coupled with the fact that these two teams have split their series every year since George Allen took over the Skins, it seemed things were finally going Dallas's way. But Billy Kilmer just got off a pass that somehow found its way into Roy Jefferson's arms 38 yards away. This served as a sudden reminder that Washington wasn't giving up the game. And sure enough, from the 19, former teammate Dwayne Thomas broke free for a Washington touchdown that put them back in command 23-17. Soon after Thomas's touchdown, Washington recovered a Dallas fumble and had an excellent chance to score. But this man, number 72, Ed Jones, the Cowboys' #1 draft pick, made one of the biggest individual plays of the game when he blocked Mark Mosley's 24-yard attempt for 3 points. Had Mosley been successful, the outcome of this game would certainly have been different. Dallas had a new life, but couldn't cash in as the Skins' defense played tough. Though Longley got the ball away, he was under constant pressure, this time from the quotable Mr. Talbert. The most impressive player on the field for Washington today was probably Mike Bass, number 41, who was all over the field breaking up plays. Bass, now in his 7th season, has long been considered one of the NFL's premier cornerbacks, but this year has been his best so far. Bass figured in a significant play later in the 4th quarter when Longley had his team moving well and hit Drew Pearson for 20 yards. Pat Fisher helped him cough up the football, and the ubiquitous Mr. Bass was there at the right time to halt the Dallas drive. The Doomsday defense was making its presence felt also, and with less than 2 minutes remaining, they stopped the Skins and forced them to punt. So with their 2 best offensive players on the bench, the Cowboys were 1 minute and 45 seconds away from missing the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. The game and Dallas's destiny was in the hands of Clint Longley. On first down, the rookie was caught for a loss on a great play by old-timer Ron McDowell. Luckily for Dallas, a face mask penalty wiped out the loss, but on 3rd and 7, Longley couldn't locate any free receivers and was forced to sprint out of the pocket toward the sidelines. Net gain, merely 1 yard, and it was now 4th and 6. A field goal wouldn't help. It now came down to this one play. 4th down, 6 yards to go, obviously a passing situation. A rookie against the most experienced defense in all of football. Longley's pass was complete, caught by an old hand, Bob Hayes, and Dallas had their desperately needed first down. But the Cowboys were 50 yards away, 35 seconds left to play. 50 yards and 35 seconds away from extinction for the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas and their unheralded rookie had done the impossible, and an entire stadium of 63,243 went wild. There were still 28 seconds left, and as everyone knew, anything could happen. But number 75, Jethro Pugh, separated Kilmer from the ball, and number 79, Harvey Martin, recovered it, and the Redskins were dead. Though it had been the tried and true Doomsday defense that had officially ended it, the game belonged to a youngster playing in his very first game. Clint Longley, with his incredible passing performance, had captured the fancy of a packed stadium and a national television audience and had plunged his team right back in the thick of playoff possibilities. Certainly a long and bright future awaits a 22-year-old rookie quarterback, but no matter how long he plays the game of football and how well he plays it, it is unlikely he'll ever surpass the shining moment he knew in Dallas this Thanksgiving Day. Final score in a memorable game, the Dallas Cowboys 24, the Washington Redskins 23. This week's National Car Rentals Player of the Game is rookie Clint Longley, whose sensational passing brought his team from behind to beat the Redskins.